Hello and welcome back to Do It Yourself Smart Code. In this part I want to show you a few little tips and tricks and common knowledge of Bolt. So the first one I want to show you is how to update your Bolt if you see a new release on the Git repo and want to update it, and also how to deal with problems with it. So I opened here a command line interface within Mobile Xterm, but you also can just use the normal CMD terminal. So if you are in your folder, just go in this bar, click in, type CMD, enter, and it will open in this directory the command line interface. So I will go with mine here. So the first thing we want to do is git pull to get the latest changes. It says already on the latest update, so no problem for me here. So we can also check git status to see what the status of the project is. We can see here I'm on the main branch, and I created a file for this tutorial because sometimes it happens that users create by accident some files in the Bolt.diy folder and then they can't do a git pull. So what you need to do then is to do a git stash to save them away. And after this you can do a pull again. So then you shouldn't get any problems with pulling the latest updates. So if there were an update, you would get here an error instead of already up to date. Then you have to do git stash and then git pull. And after this, you can do the normal steps from the install. So just do pnpm install and pnpm run dev to start Bolt again. So it started up. If it does not reload on its own, just do Control R or click here on refresh. If you got a white page, sometimes this happens after an update. So let's test it out. I have my key in the environment file, so yeah, everything working fine. Looks good. You can ignore these errors, it's just because I don't use the other providers and don't have configuration for it. So this is not a problem at all. The second thing I want to show you is how to change the branch. So we have two branches in Bolt.diy, a stable branch, which you should be normally, but sometimes maybe you want to check out new features which are already on the main branch, and sometimes this is mentioned in topics in the community. So what you need to do is git checkout and then the name of the branch. So I'm on main branch and want to go to the stable. So I do git checkout stable, enter. And now it says switch to main branch stable. Can also verify with git status again. Yeah, and we see we are on stable. So this is fine. Let's go back to git checkout main, and we are back to the main branch. The next thing I want to show you are the starter templates or project templates you can use from the start page of Bolt.diy. If you go down to the bottoms, you see this area here where a lot of templates are linked, and you can just click one of them to import the base structure from Git and then go with your development from there. So it's often better to start with a base template instead of starting from scratch. So I click one. It's now importing everything. it's done. As we see here, a lot of files in it. And it says here start prompting. So let's try. Implement modern to do app with advanced features. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we got an error. Just paste it to Bolt, send it up, and hopefully it can fix it. Looks like it fixed it, but it didn't start or install the project. So let's do this manually. You can see the command here. You can just type it here in the Bolt terminal and run it yourself if it does not install. Or I just see it did install, but it forgot to provide the run command. So npm run dev. So this can happen for several providers and LLMs that they don't do proper commands, and you have to do it sometimes on your own. Yeah, and this worked very good. And if you tried before to doing a to-do app without starter templates, you maybe know that they look not very good normally. So with that, they look a bit better, as I think. Yeah, everything working. Looking very good. So what else can you do? Instead of using these starter templates, you can also import every Git repository you want by the URL. So just I copied it here. You can do /git $URL equals, and then just provide the URL to your Git repo. So if you go to my Git and take my task list, just copy this one, append it here, enter, and now it will import this. So I could start on my project then from here. So it's basically the same as you can do here from the start page by clicking clone a Git repository, and then you got this input field where you can paste it in. Yeah, both is working. Let's go to the next point. The next thing I want to show you are the settings. So just open the sidebar here on the top left, go down to this icon, click it, and the settings opening. Then you see the data tab where you can export your chats, for example, export and import settings, and download your keys. So, or you can even delete all chats to clean up everything. The next one is the providers tab. There are all providers currently working for Bolt, so you can configure them. I would recommend to disable the providers you don't use, so you don't see it in the list every time and have to search for something. So maybe you just have one or two. Let's just do these two common providers, and then there are also the experimental providers. You can also disable them here. And then if we go back, we just see these two. So it's much more clean. Okay, let's go back here. So if you have Ollama, LM Studio, or anything OpenAI-like, then you can configure this here as well. Just provide the URL of your service then here. Normally LM Studio is running on this as default. Enable it, put the base URL here, and then you can see here I don't have LM Studio running, so it doesn't show any models, but this would work then. The next tab here in the settings is the connection tab. So you can provide your GitHub username and your personal access token, and then click connect. And when you are connected to Git, then you don't have any problems with importing stuff, cloning stuff, or pushing to Git, because sometimes it can be the case that you are rate limited by Git if you do work too much with the API of Git. So sometimes it's not working then, and this can help to make it work. The next tab is the features tab. This is important because here you can enable a few things. The first one is the debug features. So if you can see here on the left, it enables and disables the debug tab. Where we come next, then you can check the main branch, but make sure you know that this is just checking if there are any updates on the main branch. It's not actually changing the branch if you are on the wrong one. So not fully makes sense in my view. The next one is auto select code template. So I showed this before using the starter templates, and if you check this one, it tries to auto do that. So it recognizes your prompt and decides if it makes sense to use a starter template depending on Angular or React or whatever. The next one is the context optimization, which makes sense to activate because it reduces the token usage and is even necessary for smaller models. So with Gemini 2.0, you don't have a problem because the context size is very large. I think it's 2 million tokens, but for example, DeepSeek has, I think, just 64,000. So if you have a bigger project, it will not work. So this one will reduce drastically the input tokens. Then there are some experimental features. You can enable, disable. So this one will toggle off here the Ollama LM Studio and OpenAI-like. So we can check again, go back to providers, and they are back. And you can also switch the prompt. So at the moment there are two, a default and an experimental prompt. So if you have problems getting proper results, maybe just try to switch the prompt. In the future there are maybe some time multiple prompts you can use for multiple LLMs, so they are better optimized to your model you are using, because this prompt is not working very good with all models, because it's also not possible to do one prompt that works for all. So the next one is the copy tab, where you can see some debug information, which is important if you do issue or post in the community and want some help. So yeah, just use this information to provide, and it helps to see what you got and how you installed. So you can do as well a copy of debug information, and if you paste this into editor, then yeah, you will see this. So you can also see your branch here, the commit you're using, and some other information about your system. So just provide this information for troubleshooting. Here are some event logs, so it's not that important. You can see this information also in the terminal. But yeah, you can check. If you've got problems, you can check the stuff here and also can export it and clean it. Good. The last two steps are here the GitHub. You already know because you cloned most likely the repo from here. But there is also the docs linked, which is not the Git repo. So it's a dedicated page where you can find a lot of information and, in my view, better instructions how to install and use Bolt. And also, if you go here on top, you have the FAQ. Where are some known problems you can dive into. So here, for example, what models work best with Bolt at the moment, what is not working, all models lower or at 7 billion parameters are, yeah, not working well at all. Some best practices, how to prompt, and also some troubleshooting. So often this error occurs for some users. So just install the Visual C++ Redis. And there's also the community linked, where you can open a topic and get some help. So just go to issues and troubleshooting, new topic, yeah, and describe your case. As I said, at best, provide some information like the debug output from Bolt. This one. And also always provide the information what provider you are using and what model you are using. So what else you can do to provide, and the topic is, let me quickly do app so we can see. You can do export of the chat here. And if we open this, then you can see there's the export of the chat and what was done. So other users or they want to help you, they can import it and see what you did. So much easier to help. Okay, I think that's it for the settings. Let me check again. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. The last thing I want to show you is the enhance prompt, which can help to get better results at all. So just put your prompt in here and then you see the stars icon. And if you click this, it doesn't matter on which model you are or provider, works on everyone or everything. And let's click this and it will enhance the prompt. So it will add some information to get better results. Okay. I did not install white. This is an error I got at least very often. You can just ask Bolt here. If it does not show this pop-up, just copy the error, paste it here in the prompt and send it, and it should fix it as well. Yep, this looks good. For comparison, we can just do the prompt without the optimization and see what we get. Yeah, this time it did an error, added the C data here on top. Can happen. Just copy the error, paste it here, and this should fix it very fast. It looks like it didn't fix it this time. So we can also try copy from here. Do that again. Fix the error. Remove the C data. Make sure it's proper JavaScript code. Okay, looks like this time it don't want to change it. So I said before we can try to change the prompt. So let's go to features and let's try out the optimized prompt, see if it works better. We just copy again. Yeah, looks like it's a complete fail this time. Never happened to me before with Gemini. So what I would do now is try another model and see if it can fix it. So I often use OpenRouter then, and then for example the Qwen model. Where is it? Qwen coder. Let's do this one. Copy the error. Looks like I'm not authorized. Then let's do the experimental from Google for now. So sometimes it can help to change the model for specific things. Looks like it already removed it. And looks like we have another problem here in the code. Okay, I don't see it, but let's just copy again. But as you can see here, we got way less problems with a starter template, and without, yeah, it messes up a lot of things on the beginning. Okay, now finally we got it to work. Looks good as the other one. But yeah, it took 10 times more time than with a starter template. Okay, but everything working. Perfect. Thank you very much. that's it for today.